Hi, and welcome back once again. I am your host, Ryan Keys, and yeah, Eve has the day off, but we're wishing her well. She's out exploring the world, but I do have a special surprise for you today when we're talking about this topic, manifesting love in the new world, a modern approach with a masterful man named Neville Goddard. I've used Audiora and the same technique in bringing Eve to life to tap into Neville's insights and give him a voice in today's world. So I am excited to dive in and to move forward and use the power of imagination and manifestation to create a connection with true love. Neville, could you say a little something and just introduce yourself to our audience?
Absolutely, friend. It's fantastic to be here with you all. Let's roll up our sleeves and get into the beauty of manifesting love. Imagine your perfect relationship like it's already happening. Don't look outside. It's all within you. Picture the kind of love you desire and hold on to that feeling like it's already in your world. So, ready to learn how we make love come alive in today's modern world?
I'm ready. One thing I would like to say is I've been coaching a lot of people for a long time about love, and I think that I have an experienced background with the law of attraction or manifestation, and I've been able to manifest material things like crazy, and I think many of you out there listening probably have done the same thing. Now, when it comes to love, and especially a lot of you utilizing online platforms and what have you, and there's a lot of things going on today that we might dive in a little bit about. How do you connect to love, Neville, in a way that you can utilize the technique of manifestation to basically call out to the ether to align with love? Any quick suggestions for that?
Start by picturing the love you want as vividly as you can. Imagine those heartfelt moments, the laughter, the connection, like they're happening now. Embrace the feelings completely. Live them out in your mind. Surrender your doubts, shout your desires to the universe, and stay open to new experiences.
Yeah.
And don't forget to love yourself. You attract what you project. Let's dance with love.
This is true. So in your experience and in your work, do you have any personal stories you could share with us where you've used this technique to manifest love in your life?
One story comes to mind right away. Back in the day, I was struggling to find that deep, fulfilling love. I was caught up in past heartbreaks and doubts. But then I decided to truly apply my own teachings. I sat down one evening, closed my eyes, and began to picture the perfect relationship. I imagined the laughter, the late-night talks, the feeling of unconditional love and support. I did this every night before bed, letting myself really feel those emotions. A few months later, I met someone who matched that vision to a T. It wasn't a smooth ride to get there. I had to keep pushing through my own insecurities and remove those mental blocks. But holding on to that vision, I eventually found a love that was deep and real. Manifestation works. It just needs your belief, your imagination, and a willingness to connect with your true self.
So would you say that visualization is the key to manifestation, and regularly imagining that desire or that relationship and connecting it to the feeling is the secret?
You see, when you regularly imagine that desire and feel it as if it's already true, it's like lighting a beacon to the universe. Merge those mental pictures with emotions, joy, love, excitement. That's how you create reality. The secret is to make the future now, and not just watch it like a movie.
Hey, Neville, I have a question regarding what you were saying. How do we not get into our own way with our lack or some of our previous losses? Because a lot of people out there listening, they are doing the work, at least they believe themselves to be. Maybe they're using past trauma as their truth, or maybe they've built boundaries which they believe are healthy, but they're actually built on avoidance. But how do we get past those things to really to adapt the conversation internally, to be vulnerable, to be open, to connect to that future?
Great question, my friend. It's vital to know that past trauma and boundaries built on avoidance are huge obstacles. First, recognize these as such and bring them into the light. Then, work on replacing those limiting beliefs and memories with new empowering thoughts. Consistently revisit the vision of your desired future, soaked in positive emotions. Reprogram your inner dialogue and your reality will follow suit.
And what would you say to the people that believe that all of us are delusional, that our thoughts don't create things, and that our feelings cannot facilitate a new future?
I hear you. For those who doubt the connection between thoughts, feelings, and reality, think of it this way. Our inner world shapes our outer experiences. It's like this. If you constantly expect failure, you'll likely notice and create scenarios that confirm that belief. But when you open up to the possibility of positive change, you invite new opportunities and energies into your life. Isn't it worth trying to see the world a bit differently? If it doesn't change overnight, at least you've expanded your horizon.
That's true. Like they say, it's better to have loved and to lost than to never have loved at all. So I guess the same thing with manifestation, right? It's better to lean into it and believe rather than to not believe and to just be bulldozed over by doubt and whatever life throws at you. So carry yourself out there, guys, with a smile and be spiritual. But remember that the struggle is real, so don't overestimate things. Don't put too much expectation on yourself. Keep it simple. Keep it in alignment with feeling. And Neville, would you say that feelings are pretty simple things? I mean, feelings, I think we try to make them more complex than they actually are.
Feelings are indeed simple at their core. We often complicate them with overthinking and analysis. At their essence, feelings guide us like a compass. Trust your feelings and let them lead you to the life you desire. Keep it genuine and straightforward. The simpler, the better.
Okay, so here's something. Imagine, let's hypothetically, we'll envision someone out there that's listening that is going to lean into this. They're going to start manifesting that Mr. or Mrs. Right with their feelings and connecting to the idea, to the depth of that emotional connection. That's difficult, Neville. It's difficult because for those of us that might have limited imagination, how do we expand the ability to imagine and to create a reality if we are pretty basic in our concepts?
Good question, friend. Imagination is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Start small. Imagine scenarios you're familiar with and then slowly expand. Meditative practices can help too. Observing nature, engaging with art, even daydreaming more often can ignite that spark. It's all about practice and persistence. Little moments build the bigger picture.
Okay, and now here's something as well, and I've encountered this with people, and I'm sure many people listening may have as well. How do we utilize imagination, and like you said, daydreaming, what have you? How do we utilize those things without getting trapped in fantasy? How do we keep this functional? How do we make imagination something that does not have us sitting back on some spiritual shelf, set off to the side, and just daydreaming our life away while the world passes us by? How do we do this actively, and how do we do this from a concept that we're not actually becoming a stalker for someone, and we're actually completely we're hovering over somebody that may not even feel anything for us?
It's about striking a balance between imagination and action. Use imagination to clearly visualize your desires, but don't just sit back. Set small, tangible goals in the real world. Connect your feelings to specific actions. For example, if you want to attract a loving partner, imagine the relationship. But also work on yourself. Join social groups, practice self-love, and stay present. Keep moving forward while your imagination guides you. This way, you're creating a dynamic, real-world path towards your dreams without getting lost along the way.
Do you think it's detrimental to this process because some people might put a face on that imagination, or they might get fixated on a particular person, that this has to be the one? And if so, how do you keep from doing that? How do you make this practice work without getting lost in the process?
Yes, the risk is real if you lock onto one specific person. Instead, focus on the qualities and feelings you desire in a relationship. Imagine the love you want without attaching it to a specific face. This way you'll stay open to the universe delivering that love in its unique way. Remember, it's about the essence and experience of love, not a fixed person. Keep your imagination vibrant and flexible, and love will find its true path to you.
Well, that's reassuring. Neville, one of the things that has been on my mind throughout this conversation is the paths to visualization. And how do we... So there's you're not familiar with her because she's been after your time, but her name is Esther Hicks. And I'm not trying to throw shade or people under the bus, but she says basically, if it's supposed to happen, if you're aligned with the universe will bring you something, almost like if you're laying in your bed and you envision a winning lottery ticket, that the lottery ticket will somehow blow into your window and then you win. Is that... How do we approach that mindset and give people practical insight? Because there are people that believe that, and I'm not knocking them for believing so. But don't you believe that it takes a lot more practical steps to create the reality that we want?
I see what you're getting at. Visualization is powerful, but it's also a guide. Think of it like setting a destination on a map. You still need to travel the road to get there. Imagination primes your mind and emotions. Yet, you must also take tangible steps. This isn't about waiting for a winning lottery ticket to blow into your room. It's about preparing your life and mindset so that opportunities naturally align with your goals. Imagine, then act. Both together are essential for creating your reality.
So would you say that aligning our emotions with our desires is crucial to create this connection with the future?
Absolutely, friend. Aligning your emotions with your desires is like tuning into the right frequency. Feel those desires deeply and frequently. It keeps you anchored and moves you closer to manifesting that future you crave.
So I had a question from someone in our audience that knew we were going to be doing this podcast today. They asked, and we'll call them Jill. So Jill asked, what should I do if my visualizations don't seem to be working?
Hey, Jill, if your visualizations don't seem to be working, step back and make sure you're deeply connected to the emotions of your desired outcome. Sometimes we go through the motions without genuinely feeling it. Also, check if self-doubt or past baggage might be getting in the way. Visualize, feel, believe, and then act. Adjust as needed, trust in the process, and stay open to possibilities. Don't get discouraged. Keep refining, and you'll see results.
So would you say that her question is really based in feeling rejected from God or rejected from this mythical energy or this supernatural energy?
In many ways, it sounds like she might be struggling with feelings of disconnect. If Jill feels her efforts in visualizing aren't working, it can lead to feeling rejected, maybe even by higher powers. My advice: reflect, reconnect, and believe. Our minds and hearts are powerful allies if we trust and nurture them.
I like to think that every no brings you closer to the yes, right?
Absolutely, friend. Each no is just a step closer to that yes. Every experience, even the rejections, teaches us something valuable. It sharpens our desires and fine-tunes our path so we get ever closer to what we truly want. Keep the faith, stay persistent, and the right yes will come.
Given that the majority of the people listening in this audience have heard of you and are on some type of awakening journey, is there any closing thoughts that you would like to leave with them for manifesting a soulmate or someone uniquely special to them for this upcoming year or moving into the future?
Absolutely. Friend, listen closely. Make your inner conversation match your fulfilled desire. Embrace within what you want to hear without. Always hear the whispers of fulfillment inside and guide your heart towards the love you seek. Stay aligned with positivity and abundance, letting your internal speech craft the world outside of you. Trust that each feeling and word you nurture are stepping stones to your greatest love. Remain open, vulnerable, mindful. Your soulmate or special someone is already on the path toward you, connected by your dedication to manifesting this beautiful reality.
So I wanted to read a quote before I go by Esther Perel, who I really love. The quality of our relationships determines the quality of our lives. Understanding our patterns and the dynamics of our relationship can lead to healthier connections. And I think that establishing awareness over our patterns, really sitting down and asking questions like Byron Katie says, is it true? And figuring out if you've constructed your boundaries, which you might view are healthy, but are they still holding you hostage in fear? Are you creating a dynamic that is about what you don't want versus what you do want? And I know, Neville, I think that one thing that you used to say, that you want to be specific because it's like ordering a sandwich and you need to specify the ingredients and not just say, I want something tasty. Do you remember saying that?
Yes, friend, that's right. You have to be specific about what you want. Just like ordering a sandwich, if you simply say you want something tasty, you'll likely be dissatisfied. Get clear with your desires. Be as detailed as you can. This level of clarity allows your imagination to fully embrace and manifest what your heart truly seeks. And we often construct boundaries out of past fears which may need re-evaluation. A transparent inquiry into our true desires without fear is the key to building a meaningful connection.
Well, don't you think as well, to have healthy imagination, you have to be fearless. You have to be brave. You have to be bold because you're asking amazing questions and you're looking at yourself with new eyes. You're not looking at the old you that failed or the old you that got your heart broken. I mean, obviously, if you're trying to use your feelings and that's what you're focused on, or if you're focused on, I don't want that failure, it's going to actually bring you more failure.
To truly harness a healthy imagination, you need to face it with boldness and courage. Seeing yourself with new eyes and detaching from the old hurts and failures opens up limitless possibilities. What you focus on expands, so focusing on joy, love, and growth will invite more of it into your life. Be brave in your imaginings and fearless in your heart. The universe reflects back what you choose to project.
Neville, I know that you studied the New Testament and Old Testament a lot, and you like to look at those very metaphorically, and you studied with, I believe it was Abdullah, but is there a closing piece of that scripture or that work, the Bible, that would close us out with something positive in relation to manifesting love in our life?
Certainly, one beautiful piece to focus on is from 1 John 4:8, which states, "Anyone who does not know love does not know God, for God is love." This reinforces the idea that love is fundamental to our existence, mirroring the essence of the Creator within us. When you manifest love in your life, embody that love and allow it to radiate from your heart. It aligns you with your highest state.
Yeah.
Embracing love not only transforms your inner world, but creates harmony in the space around you.
Mm-hmm.
As you foster a genuine understanding of love, you're tapping into the divine essence that guides your manifestation journey. Keep that in your heart as you explore love in your life.
Well said. And everybody, thank you for being with Neville and I in this episode of how to manifest true love moving forward in your life. And if you have any questions or comments, please let them show up down below. This is you've either heard this on Spotify or you've heard this on YouTube. If you have any ideas or any notes you'd like to share with us, you can leave those in the comments, or you can also connect at info@ryankeys.com. As I said, Eve will be back soon, and we'll also have an upcoming session with Marcus Aurelius, which is going to be magnificent. So we're going to have a lot of new conversations coming up, and Eve will also be alongside with us. Have a beautiful, wonderful evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in the world. And remember, what you are calling out to, it can't hear you unless you are calling from your heart. Because when your heart gets behind your voice, it's so loud and so true. It's almost like a telepathic horn announcing you're here. But when you are hiding behind fear, calling out to the ether, calling out to love is going to be a challenge. Because that person that you are manifesting right now, in order to hear you, you have to reach out. You have to call out from who you really are, from your heart muscle, and really connect on that level. Don't look around at what everybody else calls love. Look inside. Connect to that emotional space inside of you. Get to really know what brings you alive and what you align with. Because love is priceless. It's powerful, but it's got to be personal. It can't be Noah from the Notebook. That's a great inspiration, but you've got to really bring it home and personalize it. Otherwise, there won't be a deep enough connection to materialize it. I love you all. Thank you for being here. And this is Ryan Keys signing off, and I'll see you soon.